Well, hey there, beautiful, and welcome in to Dr. Sarah's Café. This video is perfect for people who might have dabbled in tarot, might be curious about tarot, but you're interested in how you can use it and leverage it as a tool for your own personal growth and development, how you can use tarot to help you unlock your highest potential, or how you can use it to cultivate a deeper, more intentional spiritual lifestyle. If this is for you, whether you're a tarot newbie or a tarot veteran, stay tuned because I have my biggest tips and a few spreads that I'd like to share with you. Listen, in my book, tarot is the fun, helpful gift that keeps on giving. The first thing I want to share is that tarot is a tool just like a mirror. If we think about how difficult it is to know what we look like without an external device like a camera or a mirror or a drawing or a painting, tarot can be very similar in that way. You might say, well, you don't need a mirror to know what you look like. You don't need to look in the camera to know what you look like. Perhaps, maybe, but it certainly is quite helpful. It helps me to focus on specific details and it helps me to gain clarity. And even if I had an idea or a concept of what I physically looked like without a mirror certainly gives me a different perspective that could be very helpful and useful for me. So we can think of tarot in the same way. Tarot is like a mirror. It can help us to see things about ourselves that might otherwise go unnoticed or unrecognized. I like tarot because it helps me not to fool myself or trick myself or delude myself about certain things, certain challenges or issues that I'd rather not see, right? Tarot literally puts all your cards on the table and you have to look at them and face them and say, this is something that I can't keep running away from, okay? And so just like a mirror or a camera or any device we use for greater self-awareness, we have to keep it in its place and know that it is only one perspective. And so tarot cannot tell you everything there is to know about yourself. It's more of an additive process where these are the things I know about myself from my own internal reflections, from feedback from family and loved ones and colleagues and coworkers, from things out in the world. And maybe I know a little bit about myself from my astrology chart or my human design. And I'm going to add a little extra detail or nuance or texture to my understanding by reaching for a tarot deck. Now, another thing that's really important for me to share before I get too deep into the conversation is that you have to find your own style, and you organically will find your own style. Speaking of style, I realized I didn't have my rings on and my fingers feel naked without my rings, so I paused to put those back on. Anyway, finding your own style. What I'll share and what other instructors or tarot teachers might share are basics, rules, principles, concepts, and it's your freedom, your right, your duty to take that and run with it, explore it, expand it, and align it to your unique spiritual gifts, your unique calling when it comes to tarot and other metaphysical tools, and your own personality, your own vibe. So what I say is a 3-card spread, you might turn it into a 6-card spread. What I say is the basic theme for a particular suit of cards. You might want to add 2 or 3 themes to it yourself. Or if I say the major arcana is about fate and destiny, you might also add that the major arcana is our soul's deepest desire, okay? Any number of things, build on it, riff on it, remix it, and really listen to your own intuition, your own knowing, and your own channelings as you work with tarot decks and get to know them. Okay, so let's get into the first step that I want to share. The very first step for a really good tarot reading of any type, but especially for self-development and spiritual growth, is to set clear intentions, and not just any clear intentions. For personal growth and self-development, it's important that your intentions be self-focused and solution focused. So the questions and the subject matters that you're pondering about or exploring should really be about you and your own growth and development, things you need to know about your personal journey, and solution focused. So not just looking at outcomes or future events or trying to predict what will happen, but getting into the mindset of you have agency, you have choice, you have empowerment, and how can you leverage your talents, your skills, your actions, your thoughts and words to create the outcomes and the reality that you're really seeking. One of the best, or I should say easiest ways to set clear intentions is through the questions that we ask. So I'm going to give you a few examples of questions that are not really great for personal development and self-growth, and questions that are more aligned to using tarot for spiritual growth and development, okay? The first one is around love, because love is such a popular topic when it comes to tarot. So a question that's not really self-focused or solution-focused is Clarence in love with me? We want to know, Clarence, okay? If you're watching, leave a comment. Let us know if you love us. Just kidding. A better question when it comes to using tarot for your own self-development is, what blocks do I have around love? Or what personal qualities make me a good partner, right? So you see how those questions are about you and also what you can do to create more love in your life. Another example is around money, also a very popular topic when it comes to tarot readings. So a question that's not so helpful for personal growth is, will I become a millionaire? Dun dun dun. The better question for cultivating yourself toward your goals is, how can I create more wealth? Yeah, you see, you're starting to see the trend. You're starting to get the hang of it. Okay, one more example though, just to make sure we got it. What will happen tomorrow is more of an externally focused question, and it's really outside of our control, and so not really solution focused. Questions that are better suited for personal development and self-growth. What's the best way for me to show up tomorrow? Now, this is about what you can actually control. We can't always control what happens throughout the day, but we can always control how we show up to those events as they happen, okay? Another question that's potentially useful for self-growth is, what energy can I bring, or what energy can I embody to have a better day than I did yesterday? Again, focusing on what you can do, focusing on your own choice, your own agency, and being solution oriented, right? So being able to look back and say, I didn't really like the way yesterday turned out. I'm thinking through ideas of how to make today a better day for me. I have my own thoughts, and I'm going to consult a few tarot cards to see if they want to add any clarity or insight or guidance for how I can show up today and make it the best day I possibly can, despite what might have happened in the past. Okay, so it all starts with your intentions and your questions. The rest is really just tarot basics. So let's get into some of those. The 3 layers of cards, we have court cards, minor arcana, and major arcana. So if you ask your question and you get a court card, this could relate to a person or people in your life and your relationship to them. And so it might need to be a focus or an area of concern or an area of benefit, right? But the court cards can also represent personalities or personality traits that maybe you're being asked to cultivate and develop within yourself, or maybe that you need to sort of let go of and release. If you ask a question or set your intention and you get a minor arcana card, then that deals more with the mundane, practical, human level of things. And so these issues and situations tend to take up less time in our lives. They tend to be a little easier to progress through, and they tend to be more self-directed, right? Things that you can tackle if you take the right actions, make good choices. You can pretty much overcome these things or see them play out relatively simply and easily throughout your life. Major arcana though, major arcana represents fate and destiny. It's more so the macro level of things. And so it deals with events that the universe brings to our lives, leaves at our doorstep, but it also has to do with our choices that have ripple effects far throughout our life, right? Through far into the future, as well as having ripple effects across multiple areas of our life, right? And so the scale and the scope of the major arcana is much more significant. The major arcana can also refer to far back in time, things that maybe even started intergenerationally, right? And so some of the minor arcana cards also speak to that, right? Like the 6 of Cups can represent childhood memories of the deep past. But for the most part, it's the major arcana that speaks to the grand journey or arc of our lives. And then we also have the tarot suits. And so if you ask a question and you get a Wands card or a Fire card, depending on what deck you're using, then that has to do a lot with our passion and our action. So oftentimes you're being asked to look at how you take action on things, what lights you up inside, right? What is your spirit and your vitality like? And in some cases, also your health, right? Cups are water, have to do with emotions or feelings. And so even if you're asking a question about money and finances or resources, if you get a Cups card or a Water card, it could say or suggest that the root cause is an emotional one, right? Or maybe it's your feelings that you have to tap into or get into alignment in order to see a change in your external resources. And then if you get a Pentacles card or an Earth card, that does speak to material resources, practical matters such as money, home, property, finances, just the wealth that you accrue. And it also has to deal with value, or self-worth and self-esteem as well. So how you perceive yourself and the way you value yourself. And then swords and air is all about the mind and communication. So if you ask a question and a sword card comes out, it could mean that you need to say something, that you need to speak up and communicate more clearly. It could indicate challenges in communication as well that need to be addressed in order to move forward. And of course, swords are about your mindset and your mentality. So very often we're presented with a problem or an issue, and it stems from a faulty or flawed mindset or mentality about that subject matter. Okay, so now that we've covered those basic principles and ways to approach the tarot card with the intention that it helps with self-development, personal growth, unlocking your full potential, right? I want to share a few tarot spreads with specific questions and uses that can get you started. Now, these spreads can be used on any regular basis. They could be used daily, they could be used weekly or monthly, once a year, on your birthday, special occasions, new moons, full moons. You will see what pattern or what rhythm or cycle is best suited for you. And again, you can take these tarot spreads and build on them, riff on them, pull clarifying cards, and really just go with the flow, okay? Let's start with the first one, which is a 2-card spread. And the first card, we ask the question, what is my greatest challenge right now or in the situation? So you could be thinking about a specific situation in your life and look at the specific challenge within that. Or you can ask this more globally and broadly in your life in general, what is your biggest challenge right now? And then the second card, of course, is how can I overcome this challenge? And so this is being solution focused, solution oriented, okay? The next tarot spread is also 2 cards, and it says, what's the biggest opportunity for me right now? So the first card can speak to, again, just your life in general. But if you're going through a challenging situation, or you're going through a bout of depression, or you're being faced with roadblocks and conflict in your life, this spread can help you shift your attitude or shift your perspective when you're going through a difficult time by helping you to see the opportunity in the moment, okay? And then that second card, we ask, what's the best way to seize or leverage this opportunity? So again, focusing on your agency and what you can do to have a better, more favorable outcome. And our third tarot spread, of course, has 3 cards, 3 for 3. So card 1 says, what's been the overall outcome of this day? And remember, you can do this weekly, monthly, do it with the moon cycles, or you could even speak to a specific situation. So if you've been working on a project or in a collaborative effort that is now wrapping up or coming to an end, you can apply this same question as well. So again, card 1, what's been the overall outcome of fill in the blank? The second card, what's my biggest win for today, right? So again, using tarot to say not just what are my challenges, but what am I really good at? What are my strengths? What am I being blessed with in this moment? And then that third card is about leveling up, getting closer to our full potential, and growing and continuing to learn and evolve. And so we ask, what's something I can reconsider or change for tomorrow, right? Or reconsider or change for the next time the situation comes around in my life, right? So if you enjoyed this kind of video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. But I also want to invite you to something really special that I've been building and cultivating for a few months now, and it's finally ready to launch to the general public, and that is the Brew Crew. So the Brew Crew is an online virtual cafe community where we do a lot of the same things that we've done in this video, right? We discuss 1, spiritual growth, personal development, unlocking and reaching our full potential, and using spirituality, using metaphysical tools like tarot and astrology or herbalism and human design to help us on our paths to unlocking our greater potential, right? And so this officially opens on September 8th, and you can register now and get a 30-day free sample so that you can dip your toe in the water and see if you really like the Brew Crew flavor before you join the monthly subscription. As I like to say, this is a place where you can come and fill your cup and fulfill your destiny. Feel free to leave any questions you have in the comments or email me, and I hope to see you in there. I appreciate you so much for being here, and I hope to see you in another video. Take care.